In the slums of Puting Bato, near the port of Manila, the dramatic increase in the price of rice is catastrophic. People like Leonora Briones and her family are hard hit. Normally, they eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Her husband, Noel, earns around €1 a day diving for mussels, and that's no longer enough to buy enough rice to feed a family of 12. Often, the Briones now have to skip meals altogether.
We often go hungry. It hurts a lot, especially when you look at the children. Sometimes we also collect food from garbage cans to have enough to go around.
Around 10 kilometers away in central Manila, the state-run National Food Authority is selling cheap rice. Hundreds of thousands of people turn up. Here, a kilo of rice costs just 28 pesos, around 50 cents. That's a third less than the current market price, which is now out of reach for millions of slum inhabitants. The Philippines government has organized around 750 million euros in aid. It's an emergency measure to feed the poorest of the poor and calm public anger. But many have yet to benefit, including the Briones family. Leonora can't afford the trip into the city center to buy the cheap state-subsidized rice. She has to purchase her rice at the corner store, where it's almost twice as expensive. Many others are in the same boat. Experts warn the situation will have dramatic consequences.
The impact of high rice prices on the poor is nothing short of catastrophic. The poor can spend 60% of their income on food. When the price of rice goes up, the amount of money they can spend on more nutritious foods or medicines or schooling is less.
But why is rice in such short supply in the Philippines? The problem is partly homegrown. There were once many rice fields in the archipelago, but they've had to give way to industry and power stations. Elsewhere, urban sprawl and even golf courses have supplanted fields.
There is relatively small amount of land that's suitable for rice production. They have a rapidly growing population, and they suffer from over 20 typhoons move across the islands every year. So they have some unique problems that most other rice-producing countries in Asia don't face. And the result of that is they have to import rice every year.
The Philippines has become the world's biggest rice importer. It has to buy on the international market, which is subject to the laws of supply and demand. And global demand is being fueled by speculation.
People will buy rice and then keep it and wait for the price to go up. Now, we have hoarding that takes place on a number of levels. Most commonly, we think of as at the international trader level. But if you consider that countries who block exports, they're actually hoarding themselves.
Leonora Briones is less concerned with the causes than the effects. Rising prices at the corner store.
Sure, we're angry about the traders, but right now we're just busy trying to get by.
Leonora Briones and her neighbors are fighting for survival. Their lives have always been a struggle, but for the people of Puting Bato, things have just gotten much worse.